We react to the NBA season just before the All-Star break. We also predict our All-Star competition winners for the NBA. Shaq also got his jersey retired recently by the Magic, which sparked the question, who is the greatest Magic player of all time?
I think the greatest Magic player of all time is...
And stay tuned for our reaction to Morgan Reilly's suspension.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the BTR podcast.
Before you get started, please like, comment, and subscribe.
As always, make sure you guys follow our socials linked down below. We're almost at 100 followers on TikTok. You guys are giving us the support there, so make sure you guys keep continuing it. It helps us a lot, and we appreciate it. Same stuff on the Instagram, almost at 200, and Twitter. Get us to 50 at least. All the updates go there as well. Sometimes videos as well. Audio platforms, wherever you guys listen, whatever you guys listen on, make sure you guys rate, review it, and download it. We gotta check out how the numbers are doing there, especially our favorite city that's not North American, I guess. Brussels, Belgium. So we got some support there. Let's see if it's actually continued. 500. We're almost at 500 followers. We're less than 100 away from 500 followers. So subscribers. Sorry, and make sure you help us get to that. Before our year anniversary for starting the pod/YouTube channel back, which was in May. So yeah, we're 9 months in, going strong.
9 months in, yeah. Look
out for some solo pods, non-sports pods coming out hopefully soon as well. But without further ado, let's just get right into it. We got some sad news to start off with. We got some NFL news, which we'll talk about later on, but this is NFL related, but more on the human side of things. Unfortunately, in Kansas City, during the Kansas City Chiefs Championship Super Bowl parade that happened today, 22 people were hit by gunfire, in which one has passed away. 21 were injured. Among those 22 people, 8 of them were children. So obviously in broad daylight stuff happened. The person that was killed is a mother of 2, identified by her radio station as a DJ. So obviously there's a loss there because people listen to local radio and all that stuff. Yes, that's sad news. Again, we're not political at all. We are never really political because A, we just don't like politics in general, but B, we keep those views differently aside, right? And I don't know what's happening in the U.S. I know we've seen a lot of stuff happen before, and I'm not saying it's just the U.S. because, it may not be gunfire here as often as the U.S., but there is gunfire that happens in Canada. The 2019 Raptors Championship parade stuff happened, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So it sucks from a human perspective. You're there to celebrate your team win a championship, your city win a championship 2 years in a row, which hasn't been done in over almost 2 decades. And it's sad. And the fact that children were involved makes it even more sad. I know you could control it's certain things. It's just weird, right? It's obviously a loss for words because wherever you are in the world, I'm not even talking about the U.S., it seems like it's not safe to go to movie theaters, malls, schools, where you're supposed to be safe. Now, championship parades and all that. So, unfortunately, that's the life right now, and we hope that it gets better soon everywhere. And we hope that the person, the DJ's family, who we wish rest in peace to the person who passed away, and condolences to your family and friends and everybody involved. Prayers to everybody that got hurt or has to go through that trauma mentally and physically as well. Yeah, hopefully the world just could be a better place soon.
Yeah. So it just sucks, right? It was supposed to be celebration, it was supposed to be happiness, and then this happened, and that's just the worst part, right? You're out there celebrating your team who did an incredible job winning 2 years in a row, but the thing you had to worry about was your safety and ducking for cover, basically.
So the girl, the female's name was the DJ Lisa Lopez Galvin, who was the host of Taste of Tejano, so a Latino-based family. She's also labeled as an extrovert, makes sense as a DJ. But shout out to some videos that went around social media, and shout out to those fans and civilians that tackled I think one of the shooters at least, and the police, I believe, have detained them. So again, we don't know the reason. I know there's a lot of different reasons why people do stuff, and we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about why it shouldn't happen. So shout out to those people. Hopefully they get recognized in some way possible, whether it be by the city and the team. So obviously it sucks for the Chiefs players and families that were there because they were there to help bring joy to that city. Unfortunately, based on reading this article, it's not like it's a one-off for Kansas City. They have struggled long with gun violence, and in 2020, it was among 9 cities targeted by the U.S. Justice Department. And in 2023, the city matched a record with 182 homicides, which mostly involved guns. Yeah, so there's that. Like I said, we don't really talk politics much at all, next to nothing. So yeah, once again, rest in peace to the victim, and hopefully peace is back essentially.
Yeah.
And especially right now in Kansas City, prayers to everybody. Um, I guess, a bit of politics we need to talk about, and this hits home for us because now it's round two, I believe, and the farmers' protests are back in India. Us being Punjabi, us being from the Indian descent, even though we're Canadian born, but we have parents that are from India. And we're only bringing this up because, again, we still got to do our research, so we don't want to spread any misinformation whatsoever. But in terms of just what's happening in India, once again, we're back to what happened in, 2021, was it?
Yeah, it just feels like we're back to square one. There was an agreement, and obviously it's not followed, causing protests again. And yeah, so it sucks because,
That's how they make their living.
that's how they make their living, yeah, and then it's getting taken away from them.
Once again, so hopefully the Indian government could do right one again, and let's see how that goes. Again, we're not going to spread too much misinformation, but we're with the farmers. If there's no farmers, there's no food, as everybody says.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Check out Khalsa Aid. They're doing what they do best. Ravi Singh Khalsa and everybody there helping out. And yeah, we'll leave it there right now. And hopefully if we have any information, we'll pass it out. But in the meantime, let's just turn it into happy mood again.
Yeah.
And get the sports in. And let's start off with the NBA. We're not officially. I think this is like the last day because it's a Wednesday for us, for our All-Star break before it begins, and we got some very interesting news this morning. That I don't know if I want to believe it or not, but it is Woj reporting it, and there's a whole article on it, so he deserves the credit at least. But it's that LeBron was targeted by the Warriors, and at first apparently it was the owners talked. So Joe Lacob, right?
Yeah, I believe it's Joel. I forgot his name. Yeah.
I'll double check quickly, but called Genie Bus.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Joe Lacob called Genie Bus about LeBron. Then it went down from Mike Dunleavy to Rob Pelinka. Obviously, clearly the trade deadline has passed and nothing came out of it. And that I don't know. Do you believe the reporting or what? Because
I mean, it's Woj.
Yeah.
I believe it because it's Woj. At the same time, there are misinformation stuff. Like, does it really matter because it didn't happen? So, like, does it really matter if I believe
It's
it or not?
LeBron.
Not really.
We need to try to clickbait a little
Yeah.
bit. So
I know, but like, does it matter? No. But at the same time, that's very interesting because we're like, okay, Warriors.
we've never heard LeBron be involved like
Yeah.
this.
And like, Warriors supposed to make a move, and they're just like, screw it. We're just gonna get some random guy who's not available,
So
who's also one of the best of all time.
who is top two great
Yeah.
of all time. Golden State Warriors swung for the fences at the trade deadline, making an unsuccessful attempt to convince Lakers star LeBron James, according to Adrian Wojnarowski, aka Woj, and Ramona Shelburne of ESPN. Apparently, both owners spoke with one another over a 24-hour window. Draymond Green, clutch client, talked to obviously Rich Paul as well to try to get him there. Supposedly, it wasn't just the Lakers who turned it down. LeBron turned it down as well. Partially because the Lakers are actually not doing bad, and it is a historic franchise. I'm not saying Golden State isn't, but Lakers are different. Yeah, and LeBron could be a free agent anyway, so he could still join them if he wants. Brian Windhorst also said on First Take that, like, hey, I know Steph and LeBron want to play together and wants to be coached by Steve Kerr, aka Team USA in the off season when they play for the Olympics.
Right? They know what they tried.
Yeah.
Right. It wasn't gonna
If
happen.
it's true.
They tried. If it's not happening, it
Yeah.
wasn't gonna happen. And the situation of them play together was gonna happen in the Olympics. Right? There's no chance that LeBron or Steph, barring any injuries, are not gonna play in the Olympics, especially when LeBron is coming out after the FIBA saying that like, yeah, we need to
What do you think
need
was
to do
gonna,
this again.
What do you think it was going to be the legacy of LeBron mainly because he would be joining that team and even Steph again? Now Steph has one on his own, LeBron has
Yeah,
one
it's
on his own.
nothing
so it's not-
tarnishes. They're
But
fine.
they're like, oh, but you joined your biggest rival in the past decade, essentially. That's the talk.
that part doesn't look it doesn't look good. But does it tarnish what they've done? No.
No, it must
Yeah,
say it touches
exactly. So
nothing.
I don't.
I'm talking about that part.
It's,
People are gonna
like it's a different story when Kevin Durant did it.
yeah.
There's nothing like that. Not even close. So yeah. So LeBron, yeah, it was interesting. That is for sure. Like it caught me by surprise, especially when someone like LeBron is gonna get traded.
But we thought Kevin Durant was never gonna get traded, and he did. So yeah, I mean anything could happen. But yeah, it was definitely weird news because the Warriors weren't the only team apparently that expressed interest. In come the Philadelphia 76ers and Daryl Morey apparently called about LeBron as well. But not only that, he called the Suns about Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal separately. Listen, shoot your shot. Like everybody says, shoot your shot. But was that a little bit of like delusion in that they were gonna, especially the Suns, are gonna break that big three up? Yeah, clearly.
Yeah. So the thing is this: were the Suns ever gonna break the big three up?
No.
Maybe next year, but definitely not this year.
But my question-
when they just got assembled.
Question for both teams is who do you have really to give up as well that would benefit?
Yeah, like
both sides?
how are you gonna get them right? Like it's like the fact that Suns probably have to pick up the phone 3 times and say no instantly and cut the phone, right? Like it makes, yeah, shoot your shot, but it makes no sense at the same time. Like there's no chance. There's absolutely zero chance that was gonna happen.
Yeah. So that's it pretty much for that. Obviously, we'll see what happens in the offseason if LeBron actually leaves and joins Steph as a free agent, which will be hilarious, but a scary duo for the league, even though LeBron will probably be, I think he'll be 40 next year. But yeah, let's move on. Let's talk about, you want to talk about the All-Star, or do you want to react to the before All-Star teams and stuff like that?
Yeah, we'll react to the season so far.
Overall
obviously-
thoughts so far, just as a whole, as a season.
Overall thoughts, it's like
Incorporation.
it's a decent NBA year, you know.
A lot of parity.
A lot of parity. Obviously, there's like question marks. How the Bucks gonna look coming to the year. Celtics, obviously another team. Suns. There were a lot of good teams, right? And it's different, especially when the Clippers are looking healthy too. That's also a big factor as well because
Kawhi is out right now. But
right, like
yeah.
because their issue is just health, and then obviously you had Lakers, the West in general. The East, you obviously have your top 4 or 5 teams who are solid, especially now with the Cavs and Knicks who have been on decent runs as well. Can make it a little top 6.
Knicks are they're on a 4-game losing streak. So
I mean, they went on a good run.
they went on a good run,
yeah.
but now they're on a 4-game losing streak.
That's
But
also
we'll start off with the West.
They're also injured, so
yeah, we'll start
as
off with the
well.
Western Conference first. Obviously, Minnesota's first right now. OKC's second with the game behind, and then it's the Clippers, Nuggets, Suns, and the Pelicans round up the top 6 at the moment. They're at the playoff spots. We'll talk about the play-in a second. Obviously, we know that out of those 6 teams that listed, 3 of them are true contenders in your eyes, right? The Clippers, Suns, and Nuggets.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay,
Those
so
are
my
3.
question to you is, how would you power rank, and how would you give them their chances against each other if they were to play each other in the whether it be Western Conference Final and Semifinal, whatever.
Clippers are the best.
Okay,
Clippers are the best. I say this every year.
yeah.
Like if they're healthy, they're the best team.
Okay, now define health, because now they have a lot of depth in terms of star power. But let's just say Kawhi is out for whatever reason.
They need all 4 of their guys,
Well, I'm not counting Westbrook. I'm only counting Harden.
or 3 guys. I mean.
Yeah, I'm not counting Westbrook.
I mean, honestly, no, they need Kawhi more. If
most.
Kawhi's out, yeah.
They could survive. Who do you think they could survive without the most?
Westbrook,
No,
Harden,
I'm not including Westbrook.
probably Harden because they did it before, kind of.
Because clearly he's the playoff choker.
Exactly,
Right?
he as well.
But I feel like his role here is a lot more different than the other teams, right? I want to say Paul George because we've seen Kawhi what he does in the playoffs and he could do, and then James Harden could still play me because they don't have a point guard otherwise that you trust.
Yeah.
Like I trust James Harden more than Russell Westbrook,
Oh yeah.
right? So for that reason, I would go with Paul George. It's not like, but then again, like let's just say it's a Paul George list team against the Nuggets and the. I'm not gonna say the Suns, but the Nuggets. Are you taking the Nuggets? The Paul George list one.
Probably. Probably Nuggets, yeah.
Okay, but
They have to be healthy, bro. They have to be. There's no other chance for them.
how do you? Okay, so you said okay. Back to full
Fully
health.
full health. Yes.
Back to full health. You said the Clippers are first. Then who is it between the Nuggets and the Suns after?
I'll probably still give it to the Nuggets just because they've they've been there, done that already. The Suns really didn't win, right? And their big three hasn't obviously up until this point. You know, recently they're playing together, but like not much compared to what they are this season. Probably 10% of the season they actually play together.
I want to see what their lineup is again. We'll do
Like
a lot more
it's
research
clear that
later
like
on.
the Suns do have the better star power. Don't get me wrong, but chemistry is huge, and the Nuggets been doing the same thing over and over again for the
But the
last 5
Suns
years.
have figured it out. They've won the last.
Yeah, they have figured
certain
out because
zone.
the three are healthy. They're playing together finally. But that's the issue.
I'm giving the
Bradley Beal's an injury prone player. Kevin Durant gets injured. Devin Booker is the
Not
healthiest of those three, and that is a concern because he gets injured too. So there's a lot of concern in Phoenix when it comes down to health and also depth, which the Clippers and Nuggets don't have those issues, especially depth wise. Obviously, Clippers do probably have health issues.
Okay, I should have done this before, but I'll look at it. We'll look at more details after. The reason why I'm going with the Suns a little bit more is again, we're assuming health, right? Because if we're talking about injury prone, then the Clippers are probably worse. And then
Yeah.
Then
But we also have depth. The Suns don't have anyone. Bradley Beal goes down. Who's replacing Bradley Beal? No one.
I think the Kevin Durant alone will still
Like
will do that.
if James Harden goes down, Westbrook could fill in as a playmaker.
Sure. I'm not saying that, but okay, yeah. For me, by far, Clippers are the best. They've been the best. I think they have the best coach out of all of them, which is not saying too much because as good as Malone has been. Vogel, yeah, different story, but again, Vogel. They added Royce O'Neal, which is big. They added Thad Young, which is big. Thad Young, yeah, I'm not saying he's gonna come in and play meaningful minutes like that, but leadership wise and everything, he's the perfect guy, right? Like your team didn't really want to lose him, but there was no point keeping him as well.
Yeah.
I like listen. I don't think he would have fit the Lakers to a T, but again, off the court, he would have been like he would be that Jared Dudley for us.
Yeah,
Like
for
he was
sure.
the first
Yeah.
year, right? I'm more intrigued to see a Suns Clippers series, obviously because of the star power, right? And I'm not saying nothing against Jokic at all. You're right, 100% right. They have the chemistry, but they also did lose a key part of their chemistry, which was Bruce Brown and Jeff Green as well. We'll see how they do with Christian Braun with an elevated role. Reggie Jackson a little bit more of an elevated role again because these guys didn't. Well, Braun did, but Reggie Jackson did not. Right. So out of the West, these three teams I am intrigued by the most. Especially just because assuming health, you want to say it's the Suns or the Clippers are going to go to the finals. And right now, both teams have amazing playoff performers. Kawhi Leonard, Kevin Durant. At the end of the day, you can't say one is clearly better than the other. They're similar. It depends if you go down the list. Devin Booker, we've seen done it before. Paul George has been up and down, right? And then obviously James Harden has been up and down, and Bradley Beal, yeah, he hasn't been far, but he's done well with the Wizards for the most part, right? But yeah, again, we're gonna have more reactions as we go on, but we'll keep that there right now. But those three are clearly the teams to beat out of the West, right?
Oh yeah, for sure they are. They've been performing. They've been living up to what they were supposed to do as well.
How much of a chance do you give the Timberwolves, Thunder, and Pelicans in this case?
Timberwolves, I'm really surprised by how well they're doing. But at the end of the day, when it comes to playoffs, they're not going to play well. They haven't been the last couple of years. Thunder, obviously, up and coming team.
Check out our video.
Check out that video. Don't expect much from them either.
This year.
Especially this year, because this is their first real test, right? Apart from probably Shea and then Lou Dort, right? Everyone else is going to be in the playoffs for the first time.
Gordon Hayward's there now. But
Oh, yeah. But like the main core.
yeah.
And then Pelicans, they've never had a healthy roster in the playoffs, right? The one year they did make it, there was no Zion. And obviously they did take the Suns to 6 games.
BI, man. He's proven that he could play. Like he's playing like
He's
that Anthony
like
Davis.
Pelicans good. I do like the Pelican squad. I really do. It's just that we haven't seen them together often, right? And it just doesn't work out like that very well.
So you know
But
the funny thing
if
is,
they could stay healthy, they could be they'll be my surprise team.
the
for
funny
sure.
thing right now, how it's labeled, I don't think it's gonna finish off like this because we'll do our final prediction soon. Pelicans, Clippers are ranked right now the first round matchup at 3-6, and then the Nuggets, Suns are the 4-5 off the bat. So obviously off the bat we're gonna get one of those teams we talked about earlier. Let's talk about the teams that are in the play-in or looking in the play-in. Obviously, clearly Memphis, Portland, San Antonio, they're done.
Done.
Right?
Finished.
Houston is now 4 games off 10th, which is occupied by the Golden State Warriors. Do you think they will get in or will put up a fight to a certain degree?
I mean, they're putting up a fight, right? I can't argue that they won't put up a fight. You know, Fred VanVleet still decent.
Injured as well.
Oh,
They
yeah.
went on a 4-game losing streak recently. They lost
So
5
VanVleet's
out of their last
yeah,
6.
VanVleet's still decent. Brooks is obviously bouncing back incredibly. And obviously you have Ime Udoka, who's a great coach himself. So they're going to put up a fight. I ultimately do believe they will miss out, though.
Okay. And then how about Utah? They made some moves to the deadline. They're 2 games out at the moment. They just lost to the Lakers.
Yeah,
well.
no, they're just not good enough.
So
man.
I feel like
they're not good enough.
I
Both of
feel
those
like the
teams.
top 10 are set at this point.
They're set.
So 7, the Mavericks, 8, the Kings, 9, the Lakers, 10, the Warriors.
Yeah.
First of all, that's gonna be a hell of a play, and if that's how it stays, I ultimately think the Mavericks will move in, and one of those teams will drop, which is probably the Pelicans. Assuming right now, who would you take between Mavericks Kings? One game.
One game, I'll probably take the Mavericks.
Okay, so they'll be your 7 seed. They'll be taking on the OKC Thunder. OKC an upset alert right off the bat.
Oh yeah, for sure. When you have Luka and Kyrie, obviously, you know, honestly, I don't even know. Like the Mavericks might be an upset alert.
The
in
thing
that
is, like,
case.
we have to see Shea be the guy in the playoffs, and like I said, he will become a superstar if he does this 2 years in a row.
But
I'm giving
yeah,
him a
who's
2-year gap because that's what I gave
how
Luka.
are they gonna guard Shea anyways? First of all,
Shea?
yeah, who on their perimeter is gonna guard Shea? Like obviously they loaded up.
True.
They loaded up
But
interiorly.
who's on their team is gonna give
Lou
Luka-
Dort, bro. We seen Lou
True,
Dort clamp up
but
James
Luka is
Harden.
still give
I
you
know
buckets.
Luka's Luka, but we seen Lou Dort legit stop James Harden.
I have more faith in the 1-2 punch of Luka Kyrie than I do with obviously Shea and pick one between.
Yeah,
J-Dub
I do that.
and Chet.
Yeah, for sure. Don't get me wrong. They're like we've seen Kyrie hit like one of the biggest shots in history,
Okay.
and we've seen Luka drag his team to a conference finals.
And right now the Lakers are 2 games off 8th, but who do you have between Lakers Warriors? 1 game.
Lakers, there's no question.
The Warriors are turning it around.
They're
Right
turning around, but
now. And we said it before. As long as you have, and this guy on the screen right now, Andrew Wiggins, is turning it around as well. But Steph, like I said, this team again, we call them a loser because they didn't make moves. They're lucky that Jonathan Kuminga's balling out. But as long as you have Steph Curry, you're always gonna have a chance. That's the thing. But how much of a chance are we gonna give it?
the Lakers
We'll see.
had the Warriors
But
number.
you can't like the fact. I'm a Laker fan and I'm not confidently saying the Lakers.
Bro, the Lakers have the Warriors number recently, right? They beat them in a play-in before. They beat them last year in the playoffs.
This one's like elimination and you're out.
yeah.
Lose and you're out.
The Lakers beat.
Yeah, that one was a 7-8 though.
Yeah, but they still won a play-in game, right?
These guys might get Otto Porter back though.
They might, yeah. But yeah, no. I'm confident the Lakers just because as a squad, you know, they've been better.
They're finally figured out their lineup, which is
yeah,
good. They
they've
won a
been
game
better
without-
in general. Like
Yeah.
at their worst, the Lakers are still better.
Okay, so then that means the 8th seed comes down to the Kings Lakers. 1 game.
I'll probably have to go with the Lakers just because you can't go against
I-
LeBron, right?
The thing with this one is like the Kings always have the Lakers number for some reason. Keep in mind the Kings would be
That's
home.
playoffs, man. You already know
True.
when something's on the line. We've seen the in-season tournament. Your squad always picks up their game.
So that being said, the first round matchup would be Timberwolves Lakers.
Oh yeah,
Timberwolves on upset alert?
huh?
They on upset alert?
Bro, they're the underdogs. What do you mean upset alert?
No, I would still put the Timberwolves as favorites.
I wouldn't put the Timberwolves in
Because
favor in
last year
that
the
case.
Grizzlies were the favorites.
Yo, that's true. That's the case because, you know, I don't know.
Because
I wouldn't.
home court is
I
also
wouldn't.
Timberwolves.
Yeah.
But I'm saying upset alert because of the 1 seed match.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So you're saying that we could have a playoff between the 1 and 2 seed according to this will be out.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, fair. Because like the
Like,
Lakers did it last year.
It's so
but
competitive, right? And like when you have like these veteran guys who've been there, done that, won it all against these up and coming teams like, you know, the Timberwolves, right? Especially led by Anthony Edwards. You have the Thunder led by Shea. They're young. They're young players. They haven't done what LeBron has done.
Yeah.
They haven't done what Curry has done. They haven't done what Kyrie has done.
Well, Luka in a way.
Luka in a way too, yeah.
But yeah, no, the funny thing is we're talking about this right now, but literally with maybe after a week or two we talk about.
Oh, it's
we're
gonna
talk about this
change.
guy,
It's gonna change.
I won't be surprised if everything flips.
It could be a
Lakers
flip,
are
yeah.
like literally the Lakers and the Warriors are 4 to 5 games out of the 6th seed.
Well,
alone.
no, it's not. This is definitely not the end. Like, this is not the final thing.
And then the 1 and 4 seed are separated by 2 games.
Yeah, like, I'm telling you right now, there's gonna be a different 1 seed, for sure. Like, I don't even think. I think the 1 and 2 seed are changing. I don't think they're not.
So
staying.
you're confident over the 10? In
Oh yeah, the
in
10 the 10 are
postseason,
in.
I guess
Yeah,
you
the
could say.
10 are in.
Okay.
We already know our 10, and
But
those.
like you're not confident with the top 6 at the moment.
Oh, they're all changing, bro.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the Eastern Conference very quickly before we give our All-Star predictions. As mentioned already, the news that Young has signed with the Suns already. But right now, this is your 1 seed. Very clearly, 6 games ahead is the Boston Celtics. Then it's the Cavs. Then it's the Bucks, Knicks, who are on a 4-game losing streak. The Sixers, who have obviously lost the last couple. I know they won recently, but like that was the one they win. Kyle Lowry officially announced. And then Indiana Pacers are 6th. Finishing out your play-in right now, 7 is Heat, then Magic, who fell off now from the beginning of the year. Then it's the Bulls, and then it's the Hawks. And then the teams outside looking in are Brooklyn, probably. That's what you're going to say?
Yeah, Raptors are finished.
Charlotte, Wizards, and Detroit's
there's
gone.
no point to mention the other 3.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Brooklyn's out. I feel like these 10 are the 10 that are going to be
I
out.
think the 10 is guaranteed. I only one I could see Magic collapsing.
But that's a 7-game difference from 11.
Yeah, no, but I could just see him collapsing.
I could see the Bulls collapse.
or the Bulls as well. Those
But
two.
again, like
yeah,
your team is 5 games out of the 10th seed right now.
yeah, we'll see. We don't know. Yeah, I think the 10 is guaranteed. It's done.
Well, your team just needs to figure out how to, and Scotty needs to figure out how to play. As
Yeah,
the
no,
number
we're
1
done.
guy
We're
and
done,
be a
bro.
young leader.
We're done.
I'm just saying in general,
Yeah, I
like
know.
overall. But we're not gonna talk about the Raptors right now. But let's talk about it. Out of the top 6, do you see Miami going in it? They're half a game off the Pacers right now, and 2.5 behind the Sixers, and 3 behind the Knicks. If you're wondering,
Yeah, I could see him. With Embiid's injury, I could definitely see him replacing the Sixers for sure. Pacers, I think, will survive. Right, especially, I think the Sixers will be a playing team.
the Sixers next 4 games. They just lost to the Heat, by the way. Knicks, Cavs, Bucks, Celtics.
Yeah, it's not. This is 0-4. It should be 0-4, realistically.
Well, Knicks are up in injuries too.
Oh yeah, Knicks are injured too. Yeah, so 1 and 3.
Okay, so you're confident with Boston as a 1 seed, no doubt about
Oh
it.
yeah.
Cleveland is 2 games above the Bucks. Do you think it's them 2 are just fighting for 2 and 3, or do you want to throw in a Miami or keep the Knicks?
It's
in the
those
mix?
2. The top. We are in Boston's 1, and then 2 and 3 are between Bucks and Cavs. Moving on, I think the Knicks should get the 4 seed, right? Hopefully they get the players back healthy. OG's out. Obviously, is Randall back?
No.
Randall's out too. Then obviously, those are big losses for them. And then 5 and 6 should be the Pacers and Heat. I don't know which order, whatever order you want it. And then 7 should be the Sixers, in my
Okay.
opinion.
Speaking of the Knicks, they had a controversial loss against the Rockets. Did you see what happened with that?
It was like a non-call on Brunson, right?
No, they called the foul on Brunson.
They called it on Brunson. Okay,
And they're protesting it. And
yeah.
if
The ref came out and said it
if
too.
it goes and if it goes through, they might have to play the last 5 minutes of the game again
Oh wow.
in an empty arena, because they don't play each other again.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's kind. I've never seen that happen before, right?
Because remember the closest thing was, remember James Harden's dunk was not
Yeah.
counted, but then again they blew a 20-point lead, so no one cared about it that much. But this one, like, do you see it happening? Like, I didn't see the play properly, but just the scenario that I explained to you, do you see that happening?
Okay. I don't. No, I don't. Like, yes, I know that the ref cost the game, 100%,
Yeah,
100%.
because this was like a 2-point game or a tie game at the end, right?
Yeah. Does it? But like at the end of the day, it is a part of the game, right? We've seen so many teams get screwed over by calls.
Yeah,
The
100%.
Knicks are not the only ones, right? And does this is not the only, like, then they should replay all those other games. Then what's the point of replaying this one?
Yeah, so they filed a protest after a ref botches Brunson foul. Ed Malloy was the crew chief. With 0.1 seconds left in the tied I remember this now. Okay, so this is what happened. I was looking at the score. I saw that this game was going to overtime.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I'll tune in if I need to. And then all of a sudden, I see that they lost. So I was like, what the hell just happened? That's what happened. I remember seeing it. I was thinking of watching it, right? So Yeah, so with .1 seconds left in the tied contest, they called it. Aaron Holiday, as the Rockets guard attempted a three-pointer, Holiday went to the free throw line and converted 2 of the 3 shots to win the game.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. I think it is. I never seen it happen.
and
So I
Malloy,
don't know
yeah,
how to
like you
feel
said,
about it,
Malloy quoted saying that, like,
it was a bad call.
Yeah.
So they messed up. I don't know. The fact that it's last second, maybe they should replay it. Like if it was a different story, if it was like 2 minutes left in the game, right?
yeah.
But if it was legit last second, then yeah, maybe it should be, give them a 5 minute extra overtime. Maybe just send it to overtime. Like what else? Like I don't know what else. I don't know any other solutions.
Yeah. So let's see. I'm interested to see what happens.
Oh yeah,
Because, like,
obviously.
That's funny because I had to bring that up. Okay, going back to this. Sorry, I'm gonna pull up the standings once again. Also, other news that happened. Did you see that a fight broke out off the court?
Yeah, I did.
Isaiah Stewart back at
Yeah,
it again
yeah,
against
Isaiah
Drew
Stewart.
Eubanks.
Yeah. Yeah, Stewart. The only thing I really know you for is
Fighting people.
punching.
Yeah.
So, when am I gonna see him versus Draymond? Special WWE WrestleMania main event.
Probably. We'll see.
Isaiah Stewart versus Draymond Green. Boxing match, whatever it was. Like how who was in it? Nate Robinson was one of the basketball players. Le'Veon Bell,
Yeah.
obviously. Yeah, I won't be surprised if that
Wayne
happens.
Rooney wants to fight now.
Yeah, Wayne Rooney's.
Patrice Evra was supposed to fight Adam Saleh, and I think Rio Ferdinand wanted to fight someone too. So, but yeah, no. Going back to that, let's close this out. Same thing. We did the Western Conference. This one I could see changes, because not as much as the West for sure. I feel like this only the Miami Heat will go back into a playoff spot, and I agree with you. I think Philly should fall out. So that being said, 9-10 matchup: Chicago, Atlanta. Chicago's home. Who do you have?
Chicago. I'll go with Atlanta.
Okay.
Trae Young takes over that game for sure.
Okay, so that means Chicago's out completely.
Yeah.
And then in this case, we'll stick with Miami. Miami, Orlando.
Miami.
So Miami, it will be facing the Cavs. Who do you have in that match?
Miami. They just for me, Miami is just like
Just because they're at playoffs.
they just get in the playoffs. Who gives a shit how you gonna just get in?
Okay. Orlando versus Atlanta.
Atlanta. Orlando's too young.
But then, unfortunately, they're gonna be playing Boston. So no matter what happens,
That's a rematch of last year. They took him to 6 last year,
Yeah,
so it was pretty crazy. But obviously, Boston upgraded a lot.
more. Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, no doubt.
And then
that's
okay,
over for
so
them.
that being said, so you're saying Heat beat the Cavs?
Yeah.
With how the Cavs are rolling,
Yeah. The Heat are just
do you
different.
feel like it's a
beasts.
7-gamer at least?
Oh yeah, for
Okay.
sure. I'm not saying it's an easy
Because you're saying
win.
it confidently. That's why.
You know why I'm also saying confidently? The Chiefs, the 3 times the Chiefs won a Super Bowl in these last 5 years, Miami made the final. So the 2 times they
Oh, so you're following conspiracies.
are following conspiracy as well. So let's see. They
Or
won.
superstitions.
This is their third
and
one.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. This is the third one for Chiefs. Let's see if Miami makes it third time in the last 5 years as well.
Okay, Bucks Pacers.
I gotta go with the Bucks. Even though the
Even though
Pacers,
the Pacers have the
did-
better, they got their number this year.
yeah, the Pacers do have the number, but playoffs are different, right? Bucks have been there.
Knicks Sixers.
Ah,
With Embiid and without Embiid. Let's put it that way.
or without Embiid, I'm going with the Knicks.
Okay.
With Embiid,
Not 100% Embiid.
I'll go with the Sixers. That Embiid's been incredible this year.
Okay,
Like, I can't
swap the Sixers and Heat like we wanted to. Knicks Heat.
probably go with the Heat.
Okay.
I'm just balling.
After all those moves that we praised the Knicks for,
Yeah, for
that
sure.
they couldn't make the finals.
Yeah.
Once again, stuff will change. We'll just keep that there. And let's move on to some other news. Unless you want to talk about some other teams you want to see.
No, not really. Yeah, we covered it out west.
Yeah,
we
we'll
have,
talk about MVPs next time.
all right, the
Just
simple
keep
as this,
there.
right? Like the 20 teams that are gonna play for something are basically locked.
Yeah, in my opinion.
Yeah,
they're
they should
locked.
be.
Okay, we'll talk about the MVP race a little bit more next time, just because we have options now, especially with Embiid going out. But let's talk about the All-Star festivities. First of all, let's just talk about the NBA All-Star. I know we talked about this in the summer when the home run derby happened. Is NBA the best All-Star weekend?
Weekend?
They have a celebrity game. They have this rookie sophomore game.
Yeah,
they
they
have
probably
they have the three festivities.
they probably should.
on skills, and then the game is mad.
Yeah, obviously the game sucks.
Yeah.
The rookie game I still enjoy the rookie game. The Rising Stars. Obviously, celebrity game.
Celebrity game depends on who's playing and how
Yeah.
fun it is. This year it's Stephen A versus Shannon Sharp, so you know there's gonna be some antics on the side.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Stephen A. Smith is, by the way, team.
If you're saying skills competition alone, I wouldn't say so, just because it has gone downhill ever since
I hate the skills challenge. I want the old skills challenge back.
the old one, right? Yeah.
Yeah, now it's like a team one. We'll talk about those in a second.
Like NHL got it right this year with the skills.
Yeah, so here's the thing. If you're going OG, obviously NBA I think is the best. Because what is it? NBA, NHL, NFL, MLB. MLB is just a home run derby, right? But that's elite itself. And you see the top guys playing, doing it as well.
All right, we already know who's fourth, which is the NFL.
Yeah, I feel like it's just like,
if you're going
it's
like
more playgroundy.
Yeah, if you're going OG, like full on, like just full history now, everything, I would give the edge to NBA. I'll give the NHL close second. I don't know, the home run derby
though.
Derby is sick. Don't get me wrong, but it's just one.
It's just
thing.
one, right?
That's the only thing I don't like. If they had like a little bit of build
NHL,
up,
if it wasn't for this year, they would have been like probably even last. Honestly,
no, they're not. They're not.
In my opinion, if it was last year's,
there's nothing below the NFL. There's no.
Okay.
There's nothing below
fine,
NFL.
home run derby for sure would have been ahead of it.
Yeah, you could say that.
I would look at the NFL one again, but they would be there. Like it would be those two and then those two. That's what I meant to say. For me, right?
Yeah.
But at least the NHL this year got it right. We got to see what they do next
if you
year.
look at it like full on historic wise, NHL had it right for a long time until they started making these stupid
That's
changes.
what I mean. I'm talking about. I guess like
NBA made these stupid changes too. Like, why would they get rid of the shooting stars? Right?
yeah.
Like that one was pretty. That one was pretty sick.
Now they mixed it up, shooting stars with skills.
Yeah.
But even like the OG skills, like they messed that up. Obviously, let's just keep the main staple, the 3-point contest and the dunk contest is there. Compare that to the home run derby. Compare that to the hardest shot and fastest skater and shooting accuracy.
Yeah.
Those are the staples from all.
Yeah,
three.
yeah.
And then home run derby is a staple on its own.
Yeah, like those will never get changed and
Yeah.
should never get changed.
So yeah, I guess I'll agree with you slightly. NBA, but the problem with the dunk contest now is like how creative could you be?
You can't, right? Like,
That's why it's dropping for me.
Bro,
and I might have to put MLB
legit,
and NHL higher.
legit, the only thing you could do in the NBA is if you like do a front flip dunk. Legit, like that's the only thing someone could do.
Yeah, like bring trampolines or something.
It's not even that. Like the
Yeah.
trampoline's gonna like freaking they're gonna lower the scores probably.
Yeah.
as well.
So you're ultimately going NBA.
I'll give it to NBA still. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I need to see this year's dunk contest, but honestly, if this NHL one, I have to see next year and see what happens because the top stars played and they because money was on the line, right?
Yeah.
So that's why it worked out well. Home run derby though is just I love the one even like the OG one was like you get 10 outs or something,
Yeah.
and this one is like the
time
one-on-one
limit.
factor is also very fun.
And it's like so tiring,
like,
right?
they made changes and it worked.
Yeah.
Right? NHL, NFL, well, I don't even care about the NFL, put that to the side. NHL and NBA made some changes and it failed, right? But I feel like the staples relatively stayed the same.
Yeah. Like you can't replace dunk contest. You can't replace the hardest shot.
Yeah.
You can't.
Like, those are relatively still the same. Like they didn't make any changes. So yeah, it's a tough debate. We'll put a poll out on YouTube. You guys could check it out for sure.
Yeah, like legit, like my favorite All-Star memories are obviously the dunk contest between Levine and Gordon.
I'm going 3-point contest is better.
Another memory is Zdeno Chara's hardest shot.
Sheldon Sure Shea Weber.
Shea Weber as well does their hardest shots, and obviously Daniel Sardin's
Shooting
shooting
record.
accuracy.
McDavid speed.
Like there's like I won't say that's my favorite though, McDavid one.
Oh, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm like just like if I were to pick one, it's Chara's hardest shot. Like what was it, 108.8, which was crazy.
If you're forced to watch a game out of all four of the sports, what are you watching? NFL's dead last.
Yeah,
Like that's no debates about it. Because again,
If I
I
were
don't
to
blame
watch-
the players either for not being physical.
like I'll probably go low key. I think MLB's up there.
I feel like MLB is the best. That's the most competitive.
Yeah, it's the most competitive.
But if you're talking about the peak, that NBA peak was the best.
Oh yeah, like the NBA had the best
two
game
they
ever.
had.
Yeah, the NBA had the best All-Star game ever.
Yeah. But if you're talking about it as like a collective, MLB's the best.
Yeah,
'Cause it's
ML
still the competitive.
MLB has the most it's the most competitive. That's
Yeah.
for sure. But predictions.
All right, let's get to it. Let's start off with the skills challenge. This is now changed to a teams of 3. We saw it last year. So the Pacers, again, they're hosting, right? That's why. It's Tyrese Halliburton, Benedict Mathurin, and Miles Turner. Team top picks, Paolo Banchero, Anthony Edwards, Victor Wembanyama.
That's crazy.
Team All-Stars, Scotty Barnes, Tyrese Maxey, both of them trying to get some redemption from last year, and they partnered with Trae Young.
Was that? It was probably 2 years. I think it was 2 years ago when Scotty kept on missing, right? Because they made the playoffs that year.
Oh yeah, okay,
Yeah.
right.
Um, I feel like in this one, like the home team always won, right? I remember the Cavs winning,
Yeah,
right, before. So I might just go with the Pacers, but I really do like that Scotty team just because of
Scotty.
Scotty. Yes, but I'll pick the Pacers.
I'm gonna go team top picks. I mean, Wembanyama, Edwards, and Banchero. Like, that's the only reason why. Again, I don't know how this one works. It's like they dribble, then they pass, and then
They have
to
like
hit a
3
shot.
challenges. Yeah.
Then they have a shooting stars ending, right? They have to hit a half court.
Yeah, they have like a shooting.
Yeah. So at least they're incorporating it.
I think it's like more points. It's like different a little bit.
Okay. Okay, so that's our prediction. I'm going team top, and you're going team home.
Pacers, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to go to the dunk contest right now and end off with the 3-point contest. Dunk contest. Jacob Toppin, which is Obi Toppin's brother, who's also on the Knicks. I'm assuming he's Obi Toppin's brother at least.
Who might not be.
Jaime Jaquez. Mac McClung, returning champ from the G League from Osceola Magic. And they're having an all-star feature this year. Jaylen Brown.
Yeah. There's only one issue. The All-Stars like never really usually do good. You gotta go Mac McClung, right?
Now we don't know what Toppin is like.
Like the last person to get out of our seats was Gordon, and then before that was Levine, right? And probably a Derrick Jones Jr.
Jones, you gotta give him some.
Yeah, you gotta shout out Derrick Jones Jr. Mac McClung gave
For how
us that
short he
moment.
is.
Yeah, gave us that moment.
White men can jump now.
Yeah, gave us that moment like what Levine guys gave us right
Yeah.
last year. So, you can't not pick Mac McClung.
Yeah. I'm agree with you.
Yeah,
I can't.
You can't. Like what he did last
I
year was
feel like he
incredible.
has more in his bag, and he
He
has
might,
more
yeah,
time.
like he
and then
might.
he has more time than Jaylen Brown to do something.
Exactly. Like, there should be a clear winner, and it should be Mac.
Again,
McClung.
we don't know what Jacob Toppin is like,
They might pull out something. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong.
and even Jaime Jaquez.
Because
I didn't
at
think
the
it
end
was
of the
that.
day, Aaron Gordon came out of nowhere. Everyone thought Levine was gonna win that year,
Yeah.
right? Because of what Levine did the year before, and then what Levine did in the Toronto All-Star year was incredible as
And-
well. But then Gordon had like a freaking sitting in the air.
Yeah. So we have two 3-point contests we got to talk about. Let's talk about Steph Curry versus Sabrina Ionescu. I think Sabrina's shooting from the WNBA line or the WNBA ball, but she did say I will go 3-point line if I have to. I think I guess she's the best shooter in the W. I can't say for sure. Like if she has,
She's I think she
like
is.
shot creator, like how Steph Curry is.
Yeah,
Like, she'd be
yeah.
her until Caitlin Clark gets in the league.
Yeah, exactly.
Or obviously we know Steph Curry. This is gonna be the classic. Oh, you have to pick the male and blah blah blah. Keep in mind, Kevin Hart did beat Draymond Green one year, but
Yeah, but that's Draymond Green.
yeah. So who are you going with this? Are you gonna just go with the greatest shooter ever still and Steph?
Steph is the greatest shooter ever on the planet. So you gotta go with that, right? And on the planet
So you're
means
sexist.
no. On the planet, on the planet means men and women,
No,
right?
obviously you know what people are gonna take it as.
Obviously, people take it like that. The ref short is a reminder, but yeah, no. Steph's the greatest, right? Sabrina's incredible. Don't get me wrong, she is, but you're going up against Steph. That's the issue. If it was anyone else, I would have said Sabrina, but it's Steph.
Yeah, because everybody thought Seth could have maybe beaten Steph that one year and Steph destroyed him.
Yeah,
But that wasn't 1-on-1 either. But I'm just
Yeah.
saying in general. Yeah, I'll agree with you. I mean, I have nothing much to say there, but I won't be surprised though.
Oh yeah, would I be surprised? No. I won't be like shocked, but at the end of the day, it's Steph.
Because even if Sabrina wins it, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, well she's closer. That's what they're gonna say.
You know,
Like,
no,
so
they
there's a
should make
built-in
it.
excuse.
They should make it. You know, they should make it like
Best 2 out of
NBA.
3 you gotta do from each.
No,
Steph can
no.
do
Just don't put up making it closer. NBA, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. If that's the case, then obviously Sabrina would prove it. But
Yeah.
we'll see how that goes. But the actual 3-point contest, returning 3-point contest, we'll see 2-time champion to defend his title, Damian Lillard, will be back. Malik Beasley, his teammate, will be in it. Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Halliburton, Laurie Markkinen, Donovan Mitchell, and the big man, Karl Anthony Towns.
I'm gonna go with. I was like, okay, Dame's gonna win. Then I thought about it again, and I was like, oh, Tyrese might win. But my final pick is Donovan Mitchell. I think Donovan Mitchell will win it.
See, like it's so weird because sometimes these guys can't. Like Paul George, as good of a shooter he is, sucked
Yeah.
in the 3-point contest because he had to do his own thing. I don't know if Donovan is that type of guy. Karl Towns is a fun pick to have here.
I'm just thinking
I
of.
think Karl Towns did
He
that
won.
last year.
He won.
Did he win last year?
No, Dame won last year.
Oh yeah.
The year before, I think Carl won.
Or is that the skills?
No, Carl won a 3-point contest.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm going with Dame. Give me.
Or did he
give me
win a
the
skill?
repeat.
I'm pretty sure he won a 3-point. I might be stupid. I think he did.
Okay. But give me Dame again.
Yeah, you're boring. That's why.
I'm going Dame again.
I'm
Hey,
also-
I'm not boring. They could go back to back.
No,
What
you can't. No, they just never works.
I have his. I want his.
Obviously, Dame is a favorite. Don't get
His
me wrong.
ability to hit the long one.
Dame is obviously the favorite. Don't get me wrong. But I just feel like if Donovan gets hot, like I don't think there's no stopping that. Especially how he's been playing this year.
All right, let's move on. Off the All-Star festivities, let's talk about some jersey retirements. We're gonna probably do an episode strictly on who's gonna get their jerseys retired that are currently in the NBA. But a certain someone by the name of Shaquille O'Neal got his jersey retired again. This time by the Orlando Magic. But did you know his is the first jersey to be retired out of the NBA players that they had?
Yeah, I did not know that.
Were you? I was surprised when I found out that it was not Penny Hardaway.
Yeah, that's for sure. Nah, that's crazy. I actually did not know that. Shaq, yeah, he left. All right, why
After
Shaq
4
number
years,
one?
I guess he put him on the map.
That's true. Yeah, he did put him on
That's
the
the
map.
only reason. But I could see, but Penny, even after Shaq left, did things. I guess
Penny
maybe
was
not,
incredible. Yeah,
Maybe not as how Shaq did them,
that's true too.
because Shaq was
But
literally.
at the end of the day, like, who is the Magic's best ever player? It's probably Shaq.
If you're looking, okay, so here's the thing: who was the Raptors' best ever player? Is it Kawhi?
Yeah, no,
So are you talking about talent strictly?
no. Like impact as well. Like Kawhi obviously had incredible
You
impact.
could argue Dwight Howard.
Huh? You could argue Dwight Howard. You can.
Because he was there way longer. He also took him to a finals, and he was always a consistent playoff team with him.
I mean, Shaq took the Magic to the finals, right, in his
Yeah.
second year, as well. So
I want
I
to
don't
check
know.
how many years Penny Hardaway played, because
I mean, if you factor in everything, Shaq is the best.
yeah,
Max
Shaq
player.
is obviously going to be the best
Yeah.
player, but if you're talking about the greatest, there's a difference.
I think it's still Shaq. I do think it's still Shaq. I genuinely do believe that. I'm not saying Penny should get his jersey
So you're
retired.
saying that Shaq
Penny
is
should
the
get his
greatest
jersey
Magic
retired.
of all time.
I think so.
Penny was there from 93 to 99. I think Shaq was there from 92 to 96.
Yeah.
So Penny had 2 more years. He was a 4-time All-Star. I think all 4 were with the Magic. First team with NBA with the Magic. Obviously, he was in the finals once. Right? Shaq was in the finals once. I don't think he won accolades with them, though. Outside of Rookie of the Year. But neither did Penny. I'm not saying
I'm
he
pretty
did.
sure All Stars. Shaq
But Dwight
was.
Howard.
Pretty sure Shaq
had
was an All Star.
Dwight Howard had D poise, bro. I think the greatest Magic player of all time is Dwight Howard. I'm gonna put that out there. I still think Penny should have had his jersey retired by now.
Yeah,
Considering
like
the
those
age.
3 should. Don't be wrong.
Yeah.
They should be retired. Am I upset Shaq is the first one? No.
I don't care about that.
Yeah.
But I was surprised to see that. I'm saying, if you're asking me who the greatest Magic player of all time is, yes, the best by talent and all that is Shaq. Like, he's going to be the greatest. Like, Hakeem Olajuwon is arguably the greatest Raptor ever to play for the greatest player to play for the Raptors.
But like
Right?
Shaq still had an impact, right?
No, I'm not. I'm saying
Yeah,
that.
like I'm factoring in both, right?
But I'm saying, what I'm saying is Dwight Howard also started his career with the Magic, was there longer, took him to the finals as well as the guy. I don't think he had a great running mate like Penny with him. Shaq did for all those years. Like, I'm not putting Hedo Turkoglu and Jameer Nelson and Rashard Lewis and all these guys on the same level as Penny Hardaway. And he won D poise, like I said, multiple times, right? And was an All-Star. Because of that, Dwight Howard is the greatest Magic player of all time. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it for me. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, that's fair. It's fair.
Is he better than Shaq?
No, he's not.
He's not better than Shaq.
But I'm
So
factoring
Shaq
both
will be
things.
the
I'm
greatest-
factoring both things, right?
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, like Shaq, 4 years is a long time. Like 4 years isn't nothing.
And Dwight's not retired
Yeah.
yet, so that's why his jersey's not retired.
Yeah,
but
that's
I'm just
true.
saying strictly.
Yeah, no, but 4 years isn't like 4 years is a fair bit of time to have had some impact, and Shaq did have some impact, right?
Yeah, I'm not saying Shaq
Yeah,
did not have the
he
impact.
did, and if you're factoring in both, right? Howard might have had the better impact. He probably
What do
did.
you think?
Howard, look, let me finish. Howard might have had more impact on the Magic. That's sure, but Shaq is the better talent, and I'm factoring in both, right? The reason why I'm not saying Kawhi Leonard's the best, greatest Raptor of all time, he only had 1 year,
Yeah.
right? Lowry is the one who put the Raptors into the conversation
Exactly.
of
And I get that.
yeah.
But my question to you is this: when you think Orlando Magic, who do you think of first? I think of Dwight Howard. When you think of Shaq as a player, which team do you associate Shaq with the most? The Lakers,
Probably
because he has three-peated with them. When you think Dwight Howard, you think Magic as well. And because of the longevity factor, mainly, and he actually won some hardware. I don't think I'll double check if Shaq won any hardware with the Magic to be exact. I think the greatest player is gonna be Dwight Howard for that team. That doesn't mean he's the better player than Shaq, right? But yeah, like
no, that's fair. That is fair. Dwight was incredible. Don't get me wrong. I just
people forget how good Dwight Howard
yeah,
was.
people do, right?
'Cause, like,
People really
people
do.
think current Dwight with the second stint with the Lakers and after he left the Rockets essentially is the true Dwight. Dwight Howard's a top 75 player who got snubbed.
Yeah,
Dwight Howard is a Hall of Famer. I don't
Yeah,
care what
he should
anybody
be,
says.
yeah, he
Dwight
should
Howard is a Hall of Famer. So, Shaq's awards. Shaq was there from 92 to 96. He's a 4-time NBA champion, none with them. 3 times NBA Finals MVP, obviously none with them. MVP was with the Lakers. He was a 15-time NBA All-Star, 3 of them coming with the Magic.
yeah.
But all his accolades are with the Lakers. Even like first team, or if you want to take account all NBA first team, none of them were the Magic.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It's close for me. I just give the edge
He has
to
one
Shaq,
scoring
yeah.
title in '95. That's
I
about it.
gave the edge to Shaq just because I factored in talent as well, right?
Right.
I factored in everything. So if I had
Well,
it 50-50,
Even if I do a poll for this, I feel like people are gonna just say Shaq because he's the better player, right? Like obviously there's a different like for the Raptors, for example, the greatest rapper of all time, easily Kyle Lowry. The greatest player to ever play in their prime, probably Kawhi Leonard. But the greatest player to ever wear the uniform is probably Hakeem Olajuwon.
yeah,
Right? So there's all 3 different, and I'm not saying Shaq is in any of those lists, right? Because the greatest player to ever wear a Celtics jersey, okay, Larry Bird, but out of the 2000 Celtics is Shaq. But was he the best player on those Celtics teams? Hell no,
oh yeah, for sure.
right?
But the thing is this, right? Like, 4 years is a fair bit of time, right? You could agree with that. Obviously, Dwight had like what 8, I would say, right? Was it around like 8?
2004 to 2012, yeah.
So 8.
So double.
Yeah, it double, but Shaq is obviously the better player.
Yeah.
There's no,
and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that.
yeah, that's not even a debate,
Yeah.
right? Even though Dwight might have had,
But at the
better
prime
impact.
of their careers, Shaq was in the prime with the Lakers. Not he was dominant with the Magic,
yeah,
but he wasn't. I don't. You could argue that was not his prime. Dwight
Okay,
was in
yeah.
his prime with the Magic.
that's true. That is fair, but I don't think that affects anything. The reason being is that like whatever Dwight did in 8 years, Shaq did like almost all of that in 4. Apart from the depoy.
No.
What? Like the main thing they both did is they make a finals, right? None of them
Okay,
won.
yeah, that part, yes.
Yeah, right. And obviously, all stars are similar. They're still the same, right? Like Shaq, for as long as he played in the Magic, he's been an all star basically.
So obviously, Dwight Howard won 3 years in a row NBA Defensive Player of the Year. He was All NBA first.
But how's
team.
that? How does that make it into team?
I
Impact?
get your point because.
How's that team impact though? It's an individual award.
But it's not. He still got hardware with him. I get your point. This factor because his All NBA first team came in 2008, which is 4 years after.
Exactly.
So-
yeah. So if you're looking at that too,
Yeah, it's a good debate. We could let the viewers decide who do you think of.
like we're not
And
disrespecting.
okay, and
Like
we're-
he's not disrespecting Shaq. We're not.
I'm not
dis-
yeah, hell
and
no.
I'm not disrespecting Dwight Howard.
No.
But if you factor in, for me, I'm
Penny
just
Hardaway's probably like, what the fuck?
yeah. And for me, I'm just factoring in talent with the thing, obviously with the impact, and I just feel like yes, Shaq may have had the less impact, but at the end of the day, Shaq is clear cut the
better
better
player.
player.
That's no
Yeah.
debates about that. people that are gonna comment, please be the people that are actually from that age
Yeah.
group. I don't want
Oh,
kids
yeah.
saying Shaq because Shaq isn't well known.
But like when you think about it, right? Like those 4 years of Shaq as well. Like this is no Shaq Celtics thing. That's not that.
no, for sure.
Yeah, no, like Shaq in those 4 years.
Shaq as a rookie was
Incredible.
like probably way more dominant, equally dominant as what Victor Wembanyama's doing in terms of like pure
Just take over a league.
take
kind of.
over the team, league, etc.
Yeah.
Right? Wembanyama in his rookie year, we see what he's doing. We're seeing what Shaq did when he came in '92.
Like it's
as a
clear
rookie.
that like Shaq, like you would like. I feel like I would know the answer, but like you would have Orlando Shaq over Dwight.
like over Orlando Dwight.
Yeah, just over Dwight. Yeah, well,
Orlando Dwight.
yeah.
Yeah. As a player, sure.
Yeah.
But again, it's like when you talk about the GOAT, you have to factor in longevity for that team specifically, right? Because LeBron may be the better, greater player than Kobe. We all know that.
Oh yeah,
Or even Shaq for sure, right? But you take Kobe and Shaq over LeBron as a Laker
yeah.
all day, every day. Now, obviously, they had more time and they had more hardware. I get it. These guys' hardware is much similar. And obviously, Dwight Howard had more time. But because of that time and he spent more time as a Magic, I give my vote as Dwight Howard as the greatest Magic of all time. Shaq is still the greater player of all time.
Yeah, that's
all
for
of
sure.
NBA history.
Yeah, that's for
Strictly
sure.
the Magic. My conclusion is, it's straight up, it's Dwight Howard.
Yeah, and my conclusion is that Shaq is the better player, and they essentially kind of done the same thing in terms of
And in
team
half
success.
the time is what you're saying.
And in half the time, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Orlando, from what I heard, screwed it up. Otherwise, he would have still been in Orlando instead of joining the Lakers.
Yeah.
But yeah, comment what you guys think down below for that debate. But we'll talk about more NBA jerseys in the future. I was going to ask some more. For example, should Anthony Davis get his jersey retired by the Pelicans, for example? But
Yeah.
we'll talk about more jersey retirements in the future. I feel like we can have more time in our hands, especially to cover those topics. But that was a great talk, for sure.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Let's move on to the NHL. Do you want to talk about the big news? I guess they're both somewhat big news.
They're both
but
somewhat decent, yeah.
do you want to start off with the news carried forward from that we had last
Yeah,
time?
we'll start off with Morgan Reilly, and who has officially been suspended for 5 games for his cross-check to Ridley Greig. Ridley Greig, obviously, the slap shot empty netter, came out and said, I just need to put it in the net type of thing. So he
Yeah.
had, obviously, no regrets, and which is fair
Once again, it's
as
just
well.
everything is hilarious with this, though, right?
Yeah.
Ridley Greig did that. It was funny. Morgan Reilly should respond, but not the way he responded. He overreacted instead of reacting. Greig,
Yeah.
Ridley Greig not defending himself. He's delusional for thinking nothing was going to come out of that.
Yeah.
All right. Again, that reaction was not warranted, but a reaction in general, like tugging the jersey.
What's
that
going to
is
happen,
fine.
right?
The reason why the Senators or the Leafs fans are all like, "Oh yeah, nothing's wrong." I promise you. And Jeff Merrick put it beautifully on the Halford and Bruff show. Flip the roles. Let's say that was Brady Tkachuk cross-checking Austin Matthews, or even Morgan Reilly.
Oh, yeah, Leafs fans
Right?
are crying.
They would be crying.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's the same thing with the whole gritty talk we talked about with the Canucks. Again, for us, it's a celebration. That's a different story, right? Because they were trying to tie those two things together, which is weird. That's just celebrating a walk-off win. It's different if he grittied in front of the Canucks bench.
Yeah, that's
And it's
different
different if he grittied at Canucks home at Rogers Arena, right? Like he might do on tomorrow or today, I guess, when the pod's
story. I
out.
hope not.
But it'll be hilarious. But like this is like he legit the unwritten rules, which I hate, but I get there's some respect level to the game. Just put the puck in the net because no one's gonna fight you if you just put the puck in the net at the end of the day, right? Yeah, he slappered it. It would have been hilarious if he missed, by the way.
Imagine.
But, yeah, and the thing with Morgan Reilly with the 5 games, let's go back to that now. Morgan Reilly is way out of character. Way out of character. Apparently, he never got his first penalty minutes like halfway through the season, right? Similar to PD. He's a Lady Bing finalist usually, right? That's the word for
Yeah,
sportsmanship.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's usually up there for this. So people are saying because of that, 5 games is too much. But then people are saying if you're strictly looking at an action and it's not a hockey play at all, which it isn't.
It isn't.
Right? Now, did he mean to hit him in the head? Maybe not. He might be wanted to hit lower cross-check.
But it doesn't matter.
But what happened. Right?
Yeah.
You got to look at the facts. What he did was he cross-checked him to the head. For those people that are saying that Ridley Greig should be suspended for doing a slap shot, just shut up.
Oh no,
That's just like no.
That's just like
That's just like
that's where you see the resemblance of Leafs fans and Cowboys fans.
Yeah.
That's totally
in
hell.
general. right? And it could be neutral fans that are thinking that like hockey,
Well, yeah, no, they're
hockey,
stupid. No,
old
no.
hockey heads, I guess the best way to put it.
Yeah,
But going back to the suspension, do you feel like 5 is fair because it's Morgan Reilly and he's never done it before, but the
like
penalty's harsh enough that it deserves
I would-
something 5
bro.
games.
I was gonna say initially, I was gonna say 10,
Yeah.
but then obviously when you look at Morgan Riley's history, I think 5 is fair, right?
If this was Tom Wilson, it's probably like 40.
Oh yeah, that was gonna be like
Or Brad
15
Marchand or
plus.
whoever.
It'd be like 15 at least
Yeah.
for that. No, but I think 5 is fair. Reason being just because it was like at the end of the day, like you weren't using a hockey stick to play hockey. You were using it as a weapon,
Yeah.
right?
100%.
That's the biggest issue, right? You used it as a weapon, and that's why I say 5. And it's a different story. If you hit him in the body, you might have gone 0,
Yeah.
but you hit him in the head as well. So 5 is fair. You're just lucky it was a first time offense. If it was like a second or third, you were definitely getting 10.
So the good news for you is, let's talk about the team in general. They already won their first game in this penalty. We were wondering what the hell they were going to be doing with them gone because their defense is struggling. Anyways, they already beat the Blues 4-1, and the Blues are not a terrible team, but
Yeah.
a team that could beat a struggling Leafs in general, right? The next game's against the Flyers, who are again a surprising team. Then it's the Ducks. Then they're at the Blues. Then it's at Arizona. So they're lucky that his suspension it's coming from like meh teams. Philly, surprise team. I'll give them the respect a little bit. The rest are like meh in the West, and one of them's crap. So he's lucky he's coming back in time because the next 3 games were Golden Knights, Avalanche, Golden Knights.
Yeah, so they got lucky. He definitely got lucky.
In a way, lucky for me, he's coming back because the Canucks have Golden Knights trailing them in the standings as well. So, for once as a Canucks fan, we might like it.
We might need to cheer for the Leafs.
But at the same time, overall though, the Leafs, yeah.
I think it's fair. I think the suspension's fair. Just because the action was brutal at the end of the day,
like
right?
if this was Ryan Reeves, he probably would have been out of the like it would have been like 10 games for sure. I feel like do you think caliber of player matters? I'm not saying history. So like for example,
like if that was McDavid.
If this was no, not even McDavid. Like if it was McDavid, I feel like it would have been like 2 or a slap. But if this was just, let's just say it's Dakota Joshua type player, right? Like a third liner, fourth liner did that. Do you feel like he would have gone more because his role is more of an enforcer, agitator in the league? I'm not saying this year's Dakota Joshua.
I don't. The thing is this. I just think it matters on history, right? Like Riley had a clean history.
No, but what I'm saying is
like I don't think it matters.
I feel like it does slightly matter if
like it's a different
caliber
story.
of the player.
Like I think it's a fair suspension. I think they got it right.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you with that, but I'm saying
I think like
let's just say if this is a player with no history.
Yeah.
And I'm saying he's like a Dakota Joshua type player.
I personally.
Do you feel like because
I don't feel that. I don't feel it. I don't know why.
Sometimes like shit like that happens.
I know it happens, but I just don't.
What do you think if it was McDavid? Then what?
Oh, if it was McDavid, that's a different story. Like if you had like the top guy, right, like that, right. At the end of the day, Morgan Reilly
So if that was Matthews, you think it would have been like 3 games max?
Yeah, I think it would have been 3 games if it was Matthews. I think that's what would have been given.
And then if it was someone like, I'm not saying like Matt Cook, Rafi Torres, they would have been kicked out of the league.
Yeah.
But like, I guess throw in Tom Wilson or throw in a Brad Marchand.
Then the history is gonna get it over 10. It'll be double digits.
Okay, Ryan Reeves. I think he's only been suspended for that Mott hit right in the playoffs, and that's it.
Was he even? He was suspended for that one game.
He's a enforcer. But he's a clean, heavy hitter.
Yes, and then I don't think he should have been suspended. I think it would have been like
probably like 7, 8.
7 if he had one in the past, then probably 7. Yeah.
Okay, so you're giving the league the benefit of the doubt.
I'm
giving George Peros the benefit of the doubt. The reason why I'm saying it is because there's so many inconsistencies.
There is so many
this year, especially this year with all the.
I'm giving the benefit of the doubt of the fact that Riley and say if it was Joshua, right? For example,
again, I don't even know if Joshua has ever been suspended.
Yeah, I know, but we're just saying. I'm saying history did keep it it stays consistent, but I'm saying if it's the star caliber player.
I feel like if it was a young player, they would let it go. Like if this was Niels Oman, or if it was like someone like that, 4th line young player, they might let it pass because he's a young guy, right? Like a guy like a veteran guy like Dakota Joshua or Connor Garland. Again, we're naming Canucks because those are the only ones I could think on the top of my head, right? I feel like they might give slightly more just because their role is like a player of those type of role, like third, fourth liners roles are meant to be physical. So they could be like, we're gonna give you a harsher penalty because we know you're gonna be crossing the line in the future. Not crossing the line, but you're gonna be close to crossing lines in the future with the type of role you're gonna have.
Yeah, I don't
Right?
believe that in the fact that like history. Like if you say that to Tom Wilson, I'm like,
Well,
yeah,
Tom Wilson's a top.
yeah,
six
no,
player.
but I'm saying it doesn't matter. But he has a
Yeah.
history, right? Like you crossed the line many times before. We can say that you're gonna cross the line again. That's why we're giving you these many games.
Yeah.
Whereas like the other guys like who haven't crossed the line before, you can't really say that
Yeah.
we're gonna cross
That's
the
fair,
line
but
again.
I'm not. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the league's perspective.
Yeah, no, I'm just looking
Because
at
it's been inconsistent as hell.
yeah. I think it's been more inconsistent the fact that like if it's a star player like a top guy, then they'll give him less. And like I don't think it's a thing of like, oh, this guy's better than this guy. They're gonna give the worst guy more games just because.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that. I think it's like if it was like McCarr and Riley, they would give McCarr less.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. We'll end it there. I think that was a good talk. Let's move on to the other big news. A certain player might be coming back to the league by the name of Phil Kessel. Teams have been linked to talk to him, but right now it's the most obvious spot, which is the Vancouver Canucks, currently skating with Abbotsford Canucks. He's in Abbotsford as we speak, by the way.
Yeah.
And the reason why this is pretty obvious is because assistant coach of the Penguins is Rick Tocchet, who's the Canucks head coach. Rick Tocchet. Who's the Canucks brass? Patrick Allvin and Jim Rutherford. Who was his brass in Pittsburgh? Patrick Allvin and Jim Rutherford. So
It's not
there's
even
a lot of ties.
it's not even like it's not even a conspiracy at this point. Like it's legit. It's like if you
but it's a trial, so it's not like he could still not sign because
Like, obviously, yeah,
they're
that's
gonna
fair.
see if he how in
Yeah.
shape and stuff he is.
but the thing is this, right? Like at this rate, like if you're a former Penguin under those guys,
Former Penguin, non-Canadian, and a Milstein client.
yeah, those are
Because we only have 3 Canadians on the team, I think.
those are the checklist. That is the checklist.
Swedish,
you have a chance to be
Americans.
you have a chance of being a Canuck.
Yeah.
if that's the case.
No, okay, so Phil Kessel, it's weird, right? Because he ain't what he was in Toronto.
Oh yeah,
He
for
ain't
sure.
what he is in what even was in Pittsburgh. And in Pittsburgh, he's a third liner.
Yeah,
Keep that in mind. For the Vegas Golden Knights, he played in the regular season because of his Ironman streak and all that stuff was involved with it. But he only played, I think, 4 games in the playoffs.
yeah, he wasn't.
So
involved.
all those fans in general, so it has Canucks fans confused. I'm sure it has you confused. It has me confused, right? There's 2 aspects. I'm going to talk about the on ice, and then I'll talk about the off ice. We will. On ice wise, the idea of Phil Kessel against next to PD makes a lot of sense because he's he's a Hall of Famer. He's a 3-time Cup champion. He's one of the greatest goal scorers with a great shot. He could shoot from anywhere and score type of thing. Yeah, he might not be good as this guy right here, Alex Ovechkin, but he's up there, right? The guy doesn't look like he's in shape, but he's obviously in shape. You wouldn't be in the NHL otherwise. But that's not Phil Kessel. That's like me saying the Lakers Carmelo Anthony got was the same Carmelo Anthony that was on the Knicks or even the Thunder for that 1 year on the Thunder or whatever he was, right? This isn't the same guy. So that's where it's confusing because like obviously Jake Gensel, who by the way got injured, so Pittsburgh might be in trouble. They lost and they might lose a trade asset, right?
yeah,
It's not like he's Jake Gensel. Like Jake Gensel, who's rumored to go to the Oilers, which would be scary, by the way.
yeah, no, yeah, that
But isn't like he ain't that guy. Like he's not a top 6 in this league anymore. He might not even be a top 12 in this league anymore. Like he might be just the extra forward that needs to be a depth piece, kind of like what Jonathan Quick was before he joined the Rangers.
bro. There's no point of like. He is not that guy.
Yeah.
He's not. There's no potential. There's no this. He might not be. He isn't.
Yeah.
He just isn't simply that guy anymore.
Yeah.
And it was clear last year. There was one reason he was playing for Vegas, was the Iron Man.
The regular
shit.
season,
Yeah.
specifically.
And the regular season. So like when it came to playoff time,
He didn't play much.
he didn't play, and
He's still a
that's what I do.
defensive liability.
exactly.
He's
so
gonna be slow.
yeah, like if you're saying the idea of Phil Kessel, yeah, no, like
This is what the Canucks need. The
yeah.
idea of Phil
the
Kessel.
idea of Phil Kessel
Yeah.
is great,
Yeah.
but not Phil Kessel. Off ice is obviously incredible, right?
So
you have
off ice,
you have a 3-time Cup champion,
Not
right?
even just that.
You have a veteran experienced guy,
Okay.
Right.
Not just that, but keep continuing.
playoff experience.
Not just that, but keep continuing.
I think that's all I got.
Okay,
bro.
so
I don't know
this is
else-
what I got.
Yeah,
He's apparently a great teammate, right? Obviously, that's all included.
yeah,
Clayton Keller, the time he was in Arizona, not Clayton Keller, Kessel, said like you want this guy in the locker room. He's jokes. We've seen the
Oh yeah, he's
interview.
so jokes.
How, was it
The breath.
breath?
The,
The
like
breath
your
one?
breath's not good. He's like,
Yeah, my breath's not.
like how's your
doing-
breath? He's like, yeah, stinks, eh?
Yeah, that. There was I think there was the hot dog meme that just keeps running out that
Yeah.
he ate a bunch of hot dogs or whatever. So you're gonna have a guy who has a personality, which you kind of lost with Kuzmenko, but again, this guy comes with experience. You're gonna have a guy that jokes around. You're gonna have a guy that helps, who loves the game, who will be around, and it's a guy that now this will benefit Kessel. It's kind of like what Zach Parise did. Instead of going through half the season and having wear and tear on your body, you're gonna be joining afresh, essentially. Like you're not gonna be fully worn
You'll be
out.
joining fresh, which is fair, which I agree. But you also might be joining rusty as well.
True, but that's why you come in during the regular season. Again, like, is it that enough to take a roster spot up, right? Is he going to keep playing in Abbotsford and you're going to call him up and he could be a mentor to the guys in Abbotsford as well? Again, people are saying his value off the ice might be incredible. We saw Udonis Haslem. I said about Thad Young in the past. The difference is in basketball, those guys could occupy a spot on the bench and
And
stay
they just
there.
sit there, yeah.
NHL, I guess you could have a 13th forward. You could have a 7th defenseman scratched. So
Yeah.
they're still involved with the first team, but they're up in the press box.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, fair game, right? But the problem is, like, unless you're gonna trade other pieces out, which like Mikheyev needs probably you. In my opinion, the Canucks still need a guy with Pettersson. Lindholm is gonna figure his stuff out, which is why you trade for him early. I'm not giving up on Lindholm like some people might be like, oh, Kuzmenko's doing this. Kuzmenko's in a whole different situation. Calgary,
yeah.
Calgary
They're
is
killing
like,
it. Calgary's
it's
killing it.
literally Boudreaux hockey, just free for all.
Yeah.
Huberdeau's doing better now as well, right? The point here is though, the Canucks still need another guy that could help with Pettersson because McKinnon has Rantanen, Crosby had Gensel, McDavid has Hyman, right? And I'm not even including the guys that could still pair with, for
Like
example.
you can still Chuck and Malkin with Crosby
And then obviously if Landeskog was healthy, you could chuck in that's
Draisaitl.
Draisaitl with McDavid. PD, this could hurt his free agency because he's a bit like, you guys are changing my line mates constantly, right? The line that worked, the Swedish line worked the other day, like as good as Hoglander is. But can you upgrade? Sure. If you can't, I get it. You bring in Kessel because, like you said, I feel like the off ice stuff benefits a lot. This is definitely a Talkit. I'm gonna say higher, but a Talkit approved thing as well.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure Rutherford and Alvin love him. Talkit definitely loves him. So you'll have that piece that like Talkit. It's not just Talkit talking about it. It's like, hey, there's a player that has been there and done that. I think the only guy in the Canucks that has been there and done that is Ian Cole, right?
Yeah.
Who was on that Pittsburgh regime.
And then Tampa Bay as
And
well.
then Teddy Bluger won it last year with Vegas.
And then Bluger.
Right? So
Yeah.
I guess my thoughts on Phil Kessel coming, if he does ultimately sign, I won't have issues with it, but the problem is if you're saying that Phil Kessel is going to come in and score like 30 goals, or like in this prorate that, let's just say he scores like 12 goals,
Yeah.
no. You probably won't barely see the ice, and if that's the case. But that's my thoughts. Like if you bring him in, great. It's great. It's for the off ice stuff, which is very valuable. You need that someone.
Oh yeah, you need that for sure.
But if you're thinking of it like if you're strictly looking at it for on ice, you're gonna be disappointed. Canucks fans are gonna be like, why do we have Phil Kessel here, right?
They will be.
That's the thing. So if he does sign, just don't get your hopes up, Canucks fans. Like he's gonna be the old Phil Kessel. But your overall thoughts before we close off this topic?
Is there a chance that he could be his old Phil Kessel?
Yeah, there's always
for
a
sure.
chance.
There's always a chance.
Like Jonathan Quick.
Yeah, like Jonathan Quick is
off around.
like 2 years ago. Jonathan Quick legit was one of the main reasons the Kings made the playoffs.
Yeah.
And forced the Game 7 against the Oilers. Last year he was dreadful, and then this year for the Rangers he's been arguably better than Shesterkin compared to his like standards, obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
And so there's always a chance, but yeah, I agree with 100%. You said this is not gonna, propel the Canucks into anything, right? It's not gonna make them better, right? They will be better off ice. They will have a great teammate, but on ice, you're still just gonna have the same team basically.
Yeah. Couple of NHL news to close it out here. Jacob Markstrom. Sorry, I forgot.
You forget.
Jacob Markstrom might be linked to New Jersey. Not saying it will happen, because New Jersey needs a goalie. Bad.
And Markstrom's been incredible, especially in this recent stretch. That is one of the main reasons why Calgary has been great ever since they traded for Kuzmenko
Yeah.
and the All-Star break in general, basically. It was Jacob Markstrom, right? They beat teams. They went on their I think New York trip, right, around that area,
Yeah.
and they did really well. I think they only had 1 L
Yeah.
in that trip.
Another goalie that could be on the move is UC Soros, and he's linked to the LA Kings. So we'll do what we did with the NBA playoff thing for the NHL probably next episode, assuming there's not many big news that's gonna happen. But yeah, because here's the thing with the goalies though, the goalies usually don't do well in mid-season trades, especially if it's a rental. Like we saw Ryan Miller, we saw Marc-Andre Fleury, who ended up re-signing.
Yeah.
Which was, at the time was a rental. So we'll see what happens. Can the Kings turn it around with a better goalie? Because Cam Talbot obviously went back down to earth. And then obviously we see what happens to the Devils. But the Devils are just injured in general, right?
Yeah.
So those are some goalies to keep an eye out on. And we'll see if it happens. I think they should, especially Jacob Markstrom with term. New Jersey should make that move because they didn't have someone since a healthy Corey Schneider. Right? Because he was an all-star, Corey Schneider, the 1 year.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But that's it for the NHL at the moment. The rest are pretty quick. So let's get right into it. Let's talk about the MLB. You could look up at the other news if anything, but one of the names that we were talking about last time in our Blue Jays rant has officially been signed. It's the guy who I wanted the most. I think you did too as well.
Yeah.
The most.
Yeah.
Jorge Soler is officially off the market. We thought people were going to start signing for 1+1 type contracts, maybe at the most 2 years. But he did sign a 3-year contract with the San Francisco Giants, who made some moves in the offseason to help them get better in that tough division. And have agreed to a 3-year, $42 million contract, according to Jeff Passan. By the way, he's only 31 years old. So, yeah, so he'll boost the lineup once again in San Francisco. And, he had stints. His last stint was with the Marlins. And was he the Finals MVP or World Series MVP with Atlanta? Or was that someone else?
That was someone else. That was someone else.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was him. But yeah.
No. Was he even there?
Yeah.
I don't even remember.
It was like him, Jock Peterson.
Yeah. It was. Was it Soler or was it Rosario?
Maybe it's the Rosario.
I think it was Rosario. Because, I don't know, whatever that outfield was, they killed it. And they were
2021 is when they won the championship, right?
Yeah.
He was World Series MVP.
It was him?
Yeah.
I thought
had a feeling. I looked at it.
I thought it was Rosario.
He was a 2-time World Series champion, 2016 with the Cubs. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And then 2021, which is the Braves. And then he also World Series MVP with the Braves.
Wow. I thought it was Rosario.
I thought it was Rosario too, but he mentioned the name, but it was actually him.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, so obviously Blue Jays, I don't know why you guys did not try to get him. Now, the only logical explanation I could see why they did not make the moves we thought they were going to make is because they're probably targeting Juan Soto for next year. That's it. That's the only logical thing I could think of.
Bro,
but you're going to waste a year for no reason, which is what
it's not even is it logical? Yeah, something like it's just out. It's a reach.
Yeah,
right.
It's like
is it a fair reason?
It's gonna be.
I don't even think it's a fair reason. I don't think so.
I'm saying that's the logical reason. I'm not saying it's the right thing.
But
the only logical thinking I have for them not making free agency moves that are not like this exactly is because they're trying to save the money to try to get Juan Soto, who could still do what Ohtani did and just stay as a Yankee or go to a different team, or even join Ohtani if you wanted to.
Bro, who knows? 42 million over 3 years. Like, how much is that, right?
42?
Yeah.
Over 3?
It's like what, 13? 14. It's 14.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 14. So, does that really affect? Like, I don't think that affects if you're going to get sold or not, anyways.
I mean, there's no salary cap at the end
of the day. Exactly. Like, I don't think it affects anyways. It's like...
And they're trying to extend, I guess, Bo and Vladdy, maybe. I don't know.
Bro, you had $60 million in the budget. You only spent $15 million in total. Right, let's say 18 because if you throw in kind of Flefa, we'll say 20 million because of Kiermaier as well. Re-sign Kiermaier.
Yeah.
You still have 40 million. If you spend another 14 on that, right, 34 million, just over halfway, you still had like around like 26 million in budget for next year plus whoever else is leaving. So money is, there's there is no logical explanation
Yeah.
of why did not make at least one more signing,
Exactly.
especially in the batting wise.
We'll cut the Blue Jays talk right now because we already released a video on that as well, which you guys could check out as well. But yeah, so he's off the market. I think another name that'll be off the market soon should be JD Martinez because I don't see him signing a long-term deal. And we'll see what happens with Bellinger and Chapman. Are they
Yeah.
going to sign midway through the year? I don't know.
Bro,
If I'm the Jays at this point, just run it. If it looks like you're running it back, you might as well bring back Chapman at this point.
yeah, just for a year, might as well.
Because you at least you'll get some sort of elite defense.
You'll get elite defense, yeah, that is for sure.
All right, so that's the baseball talk. Any signings?
Nothing.
Okay, UFC officially back with 298, a better card than last time. Problem is, we just have a Surrey Soccer League playoff game on that night, so
Yeah.
we're probably gonna miss most of the main event. But a good card. The main event being Alexander Volkanovski versus Ilya Topuria, who's undefeated. We had Nick Baldwin on the podcast. Once again, check that episode out. It's our trailer right at the moment. We also dropped a clip on our YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reel, TikTok of him making his prediction, and he has said Ilya Topuria is the guy to go. I haven't watched much of Topuria, so we're not gonna comment on a prediction. I know
Honestly,
you're a Volk guy,
I'm a Volk guy.
so you're gonna be biased and pick Volk.
I'm gonna be
anyways.
biased and pick Volk anyways. Yeah,
'Cause
you're right.
You have no reason to go against what he has
Yeah,
done,
no-
except
no
for
reason.
the Makachev fight.
No reason. The only one concern I have for Volk is I don't know how much time he had really to recover.
He said he's ready to go for UFC 300.
Yeah, no, I don't trust him.
Yeah.
I do not believe one word that Volk says if he's ready or not because
Yeah.
he's clearly not. So yeah, that's just BS in my opinion. But Nick Baldwin had it close, right? It's like it's very 50-50. So I don't think you could really go any wrong.
Yeah, the fact that he retweeted
well.
my tweet because we did that episode a while ago,
Yeah.
I think confirms that he's still riding with Topuria.
Yeah. So, but he said himself, it's gonna be very close.
Yeah,
It should be one of the main events of the year, right? And it's obviously like including whatever is on schedule now. But like Topuria and Volkanovski could be the fight of the year candidate
yeah.
for sure.
Not our words, Nick Baldwin's words.
Well, I don't think he said fight of the year, but like
Well, he said that's the fight he's looking forward to the most.
Most, yeah.
So, yeah, so that's one of the fights. Obviously, you're riding with your boy Volkanovski. I'm just want to see a good fight, whether it be before or sorry, not before, obviously. After the fight was over to watch it again, but we'll see how that goes. Other two fights that we, honestly, 4 out of the 5 fights we might care about slightly. Robert Whittaker, Paulo Costa for the middleweight division. That could potentially be a title consideration if it's not Ilya.
I think
Sorry, not Ilya.
I think Whittaker's gonna
Izzy.
get it. I think Whittaker's
Paulo
all,
Costa's 14-2 himself. His only loss came against Izzy, or
As
other
well.
loss was against Izzy.
yeah.
He was supposed to fight Hamzat, but then he had injury, I guess.
But
Yeah,
no, was it-
Whittaker, obviously, again, 2 of his 7 losses were against Izzy as well. So both of them obviously have nothing against Izzy at the moment. But yeah, I think that's a good fight to see. I don't know if that's 5 rounders.
That's just a
but
classic.
yeah.
Yeah, it's probably 3.
No, because like they announced some of these co-mains are now like 5 round.
Is that the co-main? Like
I think Dustin Poirier is a co-main,
yeah.
and he's a 5 round fight.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I don't know if this one's a 5 rounder
Yeah.
because it's a co-main. That's the
This
reason
is the
why.
co-main, right? that's
The
a big good
welterweight
fight.
undefeated Ian Gary 13-0. He's like that Irish guy, remember?
Yeah,
Who,
yeah.
who had a crazy knockout.
Yeah.
Who was calling out Stephen Thompson? Who I forgot his Sweet Hands is his name, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
But right now he's fighting a guy named Jeff Neal. So let's see. This fight was supposed to happen, I think not last month, but I think it was
Edwards one?
Edwards one.
Yeah.
And he got like seriously sick or something. I don't know what it was. But that's one. And the one that we also might, the second fight of the day, Henry Cejudo is back versus Merab Dvalishvili. He was on Aljo's thing. This guy was supposed to fight. He was supposed to be the number 1 contender, but he didn't want to fight Aljo.
Yeah.
Right? And Dana
yeah.
called both of these guys out saying that you didn't want to fight Aljo and Cejudo should have not retired in the first place. But Henry Cejudo, I don't know if I'm saying which one's right, Cejudo or Cejudo.
I don't know.
Well, either way, Henry said he will retire if he loses this fight once and for all. If he wins, then he wants the winner of Cheeto Vera, and Sugar Sean.
Sean, yeah.
So
yeah.
a good card, very good card.
It's a very good card,
I get
yeah.
to tune in as well. And the other big news coming out of UFC is that the main event of UFC 300 will be announced during this weekend,
Oh wow.
during
yeah.
the card itself.
People are saying that like
And yeah, so right now they're saying that it's Hamza versus I forgot who, Edwards. The
Oh, wow.
issue
Yeah.
they're saying that is because Hamza has trouble fighting in the U.S. first, so they're saying that they don't know if they'll be able to get him in.
yeah.
think that's the latest one I saw. Obviously, the logical one seems to be Bilal and
Leon.
Leon, and then like Nick said, it could be Drickus versus Izzy, but then Drickus has to come back after that beatdown.
It's tough.
It's
It's
gonna be
tough. Yeah.
And again, I don't think John Jones will be back in time. So I think the only logical one is Izzy's coming back, or it's gonna be Hamza versus someone.
Yeah.
Or Leon.
People saying Dana missed an opportunity. Should have done a Super Bowl announcement.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll see in the UFC 298, the main event for UFC 300. It sucks because it didn't really work against. It worked. Everything that can go wrong main event wise did go wrong, because you have a lot of fighters unavailable, either injured, either recently fighting, and either due to fasting or Ramadan. In
because the obvious one would have been Makachev all day, every day, right? So
let's move on to some shocking NFL news, which is Steve Wilkes has been let go of his defensive coordinator duties in the San Francisco 49ers after an incredible performance for 3 quarters, holding the Chiefs to 10 or less points. So
I have issues with this. I really do.
Yeah. So realistically, like, if you think about it, right, like, the special teams is what gave Chiefs momentum,
Yeah.
right? So Wilkes had an incredible game, in the Super Bowl. So I do not understand this at all. Yes, did the Niners defense look? If you look at it as the season as a whole, did the Niners defense, was it as good when Robert Saleh was in control? Was it as good as D'Amico? No, but you still made a Super Bowl. You still performed well.
You held them. Was it less than 20 points before overtime?
Yeah, it was a 19-19 game.
Yeah, right. So it was less than 20 points before overtime, because ultimately they hit a field goal and they hit the touchdown to win. Right. So I don't know. This is the biggest scapegoat I've seen. I'm not saying Steve Wilkes did like you said, a great job compared to D'Amico and Robert. Compared to them, but I still did think I still thought he did a great enough job to at least win that game. This game was on Kyle Shanahan. We said that clearly. You could check our reaction from last episode of the Super Bowl. So the fact that he's announced that he's gone, I don't know if there's any upgrade. I don't know if there's external upgrade or not. We'll see what the case is. I don't get it. I don't see why he's the fall guy for no reason.
Imagine the scenes if Bill Belichick's their DC.
No chance. Zero chance.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, that's the only thing I could think of.
If Bill will only take it if he just wants to be in a football team setting again.
Like
otherwise, he has no reason to do that.
But that's the only upgrade out there externally.
Exactly my point. Yeah, right. So again, if they're internally, what's one point? It's his staff.
It doesn't matter,
right?
They have to see something externally that we're just missing out right now, or like something like that is just incredible that we just might be so stupid that we don't realize his name is available.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like this is the biggest scapegoat.
Yeah, for sure.
This was not the reason why they lost that Super Bowl. This was not the reason why your regular season was like, you had a great regular season outside of that 3-week stretch, and obviously the Baltimore game. I understand you guys didn't start off hot in the playoffs, like in the first quarter and so, but you got better as that game went on.
You made the Super Bowl.
And then, you made the Super Bowl. You kept Patrick Mahomes below 20 points, and it's Patrick Mahomes. Ultimately, you're going to end up giving them chances. This game was strictly on the offense, losing it for them. We all said that. We all know that. Kyle Shanahan should fire himself if that was the case, but obviously that ain't going to happen.
That's not.
And again, I'm not saying Kyle Shanahan should lose his job.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm saying Steve Wilkes should definitely not be losing his job.
That's
unless there was something internal that happened. For example, Adrian Griffin and Terry Stotts.
They had beef or something. Yeah. Or if it's like, Wilkes is like, if we don't win the Super Bowl, fire me type of thing. Like, I don't know. So some sort of inside promise that we don't know. But no, this is definitely surprising.
And Shanahan apparently said he has expected all of his coaching staff to return. So, I don't know if I'm missing anything.
No, I don't think we are.
I don't know if the players are not bought into him. If that's the factor.
They didn't like the system. I don't know.
I'm strictly going on the news that Shanahan let him go, and I said, I don't think, because remember he did call the time and he wasn't a fan of certain plays. But again, the Super Bowl was lost because your game planning wasn't there, and you did not have the team prepared with the overtime rules.
It was the offense.
Yeah.
It was on the offense.
And the preparation of the overtime.
Yeah.
Last thing, let's close it out. Champions League. It's underway. 3 out of the 4 games that we said, not surprises. City ended up winning 3-1. Yeah, took them a little bit of time to put Copenhagen away. Again, I feel like they'll just come out and win like 5-0 the next game. Anyways, Real Madrid barely won. They won 1-0. PSG we thought was gonna be one of the upset teams to watch out for. They handled business and won 2-0. The one team we put on upset alert did not handle their business is Bayern Munich, who lost to Lazio 1-0. So I didn't get the chance to watch the game because we had like a work lunch thing, so I was just in the lounge with the employees. So normally I would have watched the game. Is Thomas Tuchel done?
I don't know how he's still here.
Is Harry Kane and Eric Dyer a curse?
I do not know. Like Harry Kane actually is a curse.
Yeah.
Like he actually is a curse. There's no way you go to the Bundesliga and lose with Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
There's no chance. So I'm just really confused in the fact that like I don't know how Tuchel still has a job. I genuinely do not
Here's
know.
the thing. People love to talk about Man United and their coaching carousel. Chelsea, coaching carousel. We already talked about Mourinho as a coach side of things. Barcelona is now a coaching carousel. No one talks so much about Bayern.
But the thing is this: Bayern doesn't like fire after his coaches. They leave himself. Like Hansi,
They should have not fired Nagelsmann in the first place.
I know that's clear.
Yeah.
I know, but like Hansi Flick, he left for a Germany job.
Yeah, fair.
Their best team was with Flick, right?
Yeah, and
what
I get Pep left too. I get
Pep left too. So it's a mix. Don't get me wrong.
But who's the
do they deserve to be blasted? Yes, they've been absolutely dreadful.
There's a
Don't get me wrong.
0% chance they're getting Klopp.
No.
Like I'm saying 0%.
Oh, there's no chance of getting Klopp.
Yeah, unless Klopp's a snake. So that's the only other way I could think about it. And those of you that don't get it, he used to coach Dortmund. That's why. Yeah, Tuchel's got to be gone. Chelsea, first of all, made a mistake by letting Tuchel go. And I guess that put eyes in Bayern Munich that, Tuchel, what he did with Chelsea was we should fire Nagelsmann. And
for no reason.
And it made no sense. And now look at you. You guys almost blew it last year. I was confident by saying Bayern Munich is a thing. Like the fact that Man United almost beat them earlier in the year, both times, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they were in both games.
In Allianz Arena as well. So, or stadium. I forgot which one's the arena, which one's the stadium, because Juventus is a similar name.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't get it. We were right that this is the one, probably the bigger upset alert, and it is. So we'll see how this goes. A couple of more league losses, or one or two more losses. I think Tuchel's gone, and I wonder who they will replace him.
And then they're already like pretty far off. I think they're like 6 points.
Xabi Alonso jumped ship
6, 7
Xabi
points
Alonso
off?
used to play for Bayern Munich.
That's true too. He could jump
Right?
ship.
So I mean, if that's the case, I hope that happens because the Liverpool will have competition to get Xabi Alonso, right? Because
that's true.
We've penciled in Xabi Alonso to be Liverpool.
And like honestly, the way that how Bayern Munich just like run the Bundesliga, they always take like
other
they took Leroy Sané, right?
No,
like,
but that was from City.
That was from City.
But they took like
what was the
Lewandowski
other guy?
directly,
Goretzka,
Hummels
directly as well.
Yeah, all these guys directly. So, yeah, like I won't be surprised if they get Xabi Alonso. But yeah, I think Tuchel has got to be gone by the end of the year. If
for
not
sure.
even before, I will not be
for
surprised.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah, we'll close it out there. Once again, we appreciate you guys, everybody, for watching. Obviously, with an emotional start, we talked a lot of fun little combos. I think this was one of our best pods yet, in my opinion, considering how tired I am from work. But once again, we appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Help us get to that 500, that YouTube partnership goal. Make sure you guys check out the YouTube Shorts, TikToks, and Instagram Reels. Follow those socials linked down below. Audio listeners, once again, download it, rate and review it. And we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Peace.